morning, or at least it's morning here. Some people asked me to do a plan with me kind of video showing how I use my Dragon Planner. I am waiting for some morning medications to kick in. Please be patient with me in the meantime. This is just my reality right now. So here we go. The stickers and the washi tape and colored pens and things like that really help me stay in my planner. If my planner is the same all the time, I get a little bit bored and then I don't use it, and then things start falling through the cracks. So for me, it's kind of a necessity because it helps keep me using my planner. So today we're starting week 2 of the quarter. I decided to video week 2 instead of week 1 because that way you can see how I refer back to the previous week a lot more easily than when the previous week is in a previous planner. Okay, so week 2, dragons teach us that if we want to climb high, we have to do it against the wind. I am feeling a little bit against the wind this week, but hopefully that'll improve a little bit. So I'm going to pick Dragon to go on this week because that's just fun. He looks like he's going against the wind, right? So we'll stick him in there. This fun little dragon. For starters. Roar. You can do it, little dragon. Okay, and then I've got this Equip Yourself for the Challenge of the Coming Week page, which is a checklist that just helps me when I'm kind of bleary on a Monday morning to get all of the things in that I want to make sure are in my planner. You'll note that there are some extra little check boxes down here to personalize, and I am just going to refer back to my previous week where I had written in some things so that I can write those in this week as well. Once I find my pen, which I moved so that I could put the planner here. Aha! Here we go. Okay, so it's a multicolor pen from 𝐀𝐬𝐧𝐝. I am using black at the moment. So I'm going to add in forward my budget. Plan menus, and update card file. Now the card file is another tool that I'm using this quarter to help keep myself on track. I can show you that a different day so that we're not using up too much time here. But that is another tool that I'm using, and I will want to update that as I'm planning my week. Okay, so what tasks from last week remain undone? Evaluate and put each where it belongs. If the task will get done this week, add it to this week's projects or processes list. If the task still needs to be done but won't fit in this week, add to the monthly adventure board. If the task no longer needs to be done, cross off the task and just leave it where it is. Because if it doesn't need to be done, I don't need to know about it anymore. So this is where my tasks go. We're again going to go back to week 1. We're going to check and see which tasks I completed and which ones I didn't. I did get some writing sprints in this week. You'll be happy to know. The fight scene is starting to untangle a little bit, which is nice. I did use my card file system all 6 days. I don't worry about it on Sundays. I give myself Sundays off. But this one I just didn't check off. I like to use a white pen to mark off the things that I have completed. Partly it just keeps the page from looking too cluttery, and partly it kind of makes the things that are not done yet feel a little bit more highlighted. They stand out a little bit more still because they haven't been pushed back with the white. So that's why I like to use white. Plus it just kind of looks cute. I don't know if you can even see it on the video. Hopefully it'll come through. Okay, so this week I did not finish bookkeeping, and I didn't do the website updates that I needed to. I did my weekly bookkeeping. This is some bookkeeping that I'm trying to catch up on because I'm behind, and I'm still behind. I did organize my rolly cart partway. I have a cart over here next to my desk that has the things that I use the most. I only did one shelf on it. It's got 3 shelves. So I'm going to just give myself a little partial check mark there. And I did do that last writing sprint. So I got all my writing sprints that I intended, which is nice. So bookkeeping and the web updates for the websites are already on my July campaign objectives. So I'm going to not worry about updating those. I'm going to do that next week instead of this week, just because of how my weeks are sorting out. But I do have a record that I need to do those, so I'm not going to worry about updating those and forwarding them. So this is last week. It's kind of how it went. You can see that this day I really needed a nap really bad. I was flagging during that part of the week. So tasks for this week. I don't feel like I have any that I need to bring forward, but if I did, I would do that now. How will this week's weather affect your activities? Mark the weather forecast on your weekly overview page by circling or shading the level of expected cloud coverage and the type of precipitation, and by writing high and low temperatures next to the thermometer icon. This is my weekly overview page. And I normally use my phone to look up the weather, but just now it is being used as a video camera. So instead, I'm going to use my computer to get a forecast. Okay. And just for funsies, I like to put my high temperatures in orange and my low temperatures in blue for the week. So today, and it is summer where I live, and during this part of summer, we almost always have hot, dry weather. We're kind of in a desert here. So this is going to be an exercise in hot, dry weather today. So 94 degrees today, 97 tomorrow, 97 the next day. Okay, so all my temperatures are in. I'm going to mark cloud cover here this week. So I'm going to take this other bright yellow pen and just color in my sunshines on here. It will be sunny and hot this week. But that does mean that I probably don't need to allow extra time for travel due to rain or low visibility or something. And I don't need to worry about bringing an umbrella. So it's just nice for me to know these things up front. The moon is waning this week. Next, what time-specific appointments or events need to be added to your weekly overview page? Write them in on the appropriate days. Okay, so I like to start by marking down which parts of my time are already spoken for, because I can't plan anything else in those times. And for that, I use actually a Google Calendar. So today I do not have any pre-scheduled appointments. I'm a stay-home mom, recovering from cancer. And so I try to limit my appointments because I have very limited energy. Last week was solid appointments. This week I am really tired, but I don't have as many appointments this week, so that's nice. Tomorrow, though, is my birthday. Oh, it's still set for orange. I want it to be black, so I'm just going to trace over that. Amy's birthday. And I am very looking forward to a nice day at home with my family, not having to go anywhere or do anything particular. I'm going to highlight this though, just because it's pretty that way. And it calls a little more attention to it. But on Wednesday, I have got some appointments. And this week, sometimes I use the stickers to mark my appointments. This week, I am just going to do some little check marks or check boxes kind of things with my pen because I am tired. So Wednesday, I've got at 10 a.m. I have my writing group, which we call Right Mind. It's kind of a writing mastermind sort of group more than a critique group, although we do critique each other's work sometimes. Then at 2 p.m., my son has a doctor appointment. And then Thursday is not so much as an appointment at a specific time, but it is date night. My husband and I try to do a date night every week. Life is crazy and we need to stay connected with each other, so that is our date night. And then on Friday, I've got an appointment at 1:10. For a medical procedure that will hopefully help my back feel better. And then Saturday and Sunday are pretty open. So yeah, that's kind of the overview of time that is already claimed for this week. Last week was more like that. All of these little gold dots are appointments. Let's go back to our checklist because I am very vague today. Okay, which next steps from your campaign objectives page will you schedule for this week in order to move forward in achieving a significant life goal? Write them on the projects list and on the weekly overview page. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my projects list, and I'm also going to refer to my monthly campaign objectives page. I have blue, pink, and yellow. These are marked. Yellow is my personal and home kinds of goals. Pink are my business, my author business goals. You'll see catch up bookkeeping is on here as a next step. And then the blue ones are my writing goals. So one of the things is I want to be consistent with using my card file. Again, I will go over the card file in a little bit more depth another time, but this is week 2. It's my little mini folder for week 2. It's got items in it that I need to be aware of for this week. So I'm going to take those out and I'm going to stick this in the back. Okay. So in this card file, I have several things. This is sedation instructions for my procedure on Friday. I need to be aware of those on Thursday. I'm going to put it in my Thursday file folder over here so that it shows up on Thursday when I need to know about it so that I can do the right length of fast before the procedure and all of that sort of thing. So now I don't need to worry about where that is because it will be there on the day when I need it. These other cards are for my basic weekly plan. This is my normal expected pattern for how I'm going to kind of organize my time during the week. But because appointments have to land on whichever days it's available, and because other things shift around, I rearrange as needed. But I do want to put these on my weekly plan, and I will also be putting them in the card file on the days when they're assigned for this week. This week is going to be a fairly typical kind of week. And I'm going very basic this week, guys, because again, energy levels are so low. So I'm just going to put a line there to separate my appointments from my my time blocking planning, I guess. I don't even know what you would call it. But anyway, Monday is my weekly reset day. So one of these cards says weekly reset. It has tasks on it that I do every weekly reset day. So it goes in the Monday file, and then I'm going to put weekly reset here. That way I don't have to recopy all of those rotating tasks every week. I can just give myself a little weekly reset. My appointment heavy day is going to be Wednesday this week. I also want to have an author day every week. I'm going to put that one on Thursday. So Thursday, author day. I also want to have a homemaking day so that I can keep up with the stuff that needs doing around the house, or that I just want to do, so that I can feel like a successful homemaker, stay-at-home mom. And then I've got a free day, which I need to clean out the car and a couple of things, but other than that, it's kind of a refill the well, go do something fun kind of day. Now, this week, it's going to have to land over here on Friday with the medical procedure, which is not an ideal way to spend my free day. But that will just help me feel like I have permission for the rest of the day to rest and relax and maybe listen to a library audiobook or something like that without feeling pressured to do some of the things that I would otherwise be doing. Oh, here's a sticky note that I need to shorten my daughter's skirt. So I will be doing that Tuesday on homemaking day. And then zone cleaning. We're in zone 3 this week. That's a family thing we're going to do on Saturday. Zone cleaning. So that was for me, one of the things from my campaign objectives for this month. My being consistent with my card file goal. And I'm marking down here. I don't have next steps because really the next steps are just work the system that I have recently set up. But I am tracking these things down here, which days that I did it, so that I can see if I've been consistent when I get to the end of the month. Okay, beyond that, which things from here do I want to pull into my week? Bookkeeping's going to wait till next week. I have an author business day next week. I really want to get some writing done. So I'm going to put that on my projects because finishing this book is a project, not a process. And it is a writing project, which, as you may remember, I use blue to color code my writing goals. So I'm going to make a little blue check mark for it. Writing sprints. These are just kind of work sessions right now I'm doing 30-minute work sessions. I want to spend a couple of hours doing this at least this week. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 gives me 2 hours. I'm going to say these are going to be non-writing day sprints that I'm going to try and fit into the other days of the week. We'll see if that actually happens. But on author day, I want to spend 3 hours. Let's see, this set of markers does not have a great yellow, so I'm going to just use this tan for personal stuff. And another project is going to be shortening my daughter's skirt. I also want to bake bread. This week, that's a project. Some weeks that would be a process. These are not hard and fast categories. It just helps me think about how they fit into my life, into my week. And I'm going to actually put freezer sandwiches. This will help me remember to get ingredients for sandwiches when I'm going to the store. Okay. I'm feeling a little bit on the spot because I'm on camera, but I will come back and put in some more process and project kinds of things later. For now, for the video purposes, I'm going to keep moving. This is enough to get me moving forward. And for now, that's enough. Which quests from my monthly adventure board need to be pulled forward is another question on my checklist. And I'm glad that I checked that because I need to write an endorsement. It's not a recurring thing, so it's a project. And then I need to make sure that I send it in, which today I'm going to say is 2 separate things on account of how vague my brain is, how foggy my brain is. Send in endorsement. I have a friend who has a new book coming out in December. I may tell you more about it later, but I don't have permission to out her at this point. But her publisher has asked me to write a little endorsement blurb for it. I don't do that for everybody that asks me to. I don't want to be endorsing things that I don't really enjoy or find to be of super good quality. So I don't do it very often, but this book, I read it. I loved it. I'm feeling very enthusiastic about writing this endorsement. So then what items that are on here are key to me feeling like I've had a successful week? This has a day to do it. The baking bread and the shortening the skirt, those can happen on the homemaking day. They already have kind of a spot assigned, but this endorsement, I don't have a specific day or time to do that one. So I'm going to pick a spot for it. Okay, some point during my homemaking day, I am going to need to sit down and rest for a bit. So I am going to put book, endorsement, and really my page is a little dull and lifeless over here because I have not been using stickers. I will liven it up again, liven it up a little more in a minute. Often I'm doing stickers as I go through this part, but again, I'm dragging this week. Okay, so that brings us to what other information do you want to forward from last week or add to your weekly overview page? And I want to forward my budget, plan my menus, update my card file. My card file is now pretty much updated because I did that while I was outlining my week. But I do need to forward my budget. I have 3 categories that I'm tracking weekly. There are other categories in our budget. They are taken care of by other systems. some that my husband and I do together, some that he just takes care of himself. These are categories that are my responsibility. I take care of the grocery budget. Every week I have an other category that's like other family expenses, and then I have an Amy budget. Because if I don't specify that this money is my play money, I never go do nice things for myself. Because I always feel like the money should be spent on somebody else in the family. So we have just designated that I have a budget every week that I'm not allowed to spend on other people. I can only spend it on things for me to help my quality of life and mental health and whatever. So I need to plan my menus for this week. I'm going to see what was on my menu for last week. This is my menu section that we didn't use. Okay, so I planned a baked potato bar that we didn't do because we did something else. And pancake night. This is a low energy week, so I need my meals to not take a lot of energy to do. I'm going to come back and do this off camera because I need to be able to think it through a little bit more. So that's once I get my meals planned here, I will be tracking my budget expenditures here. I have my tasks that I need to accomplish here. There will be a few more as things come up in the week. If they fit on the day where they pop up, I just put them on that day. If they don't fit, then I put them here so that I can remember to work them into a different day. So that's the system for that stuff. But that's the general overview of how, right now at least, I am using my Dragon Planner to set myself up for a successful week. I'll keep this rolling as I'm doing stickers, but I will probably stop talking. So I hope that you have a great week. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will talk to you next time. Okay, so that's my decorations done for the week. You can see it makes it a little more inviting to have a little bit of color in here, but I can change up my colors every week. I thought, with the quote, dragons teach us that if we want to climb high, we have to do it against the wind. I liked that this quote sticker, we rise by being kind, coordinates with that. I pulled the rose gold metallic color out of this and put some matching washi tape over here. There is enough space in between these boxes for the skinny 3mm washi tape and plenty of room at the bottom for a wider washi tape. And then I used the same washi on both of these pages because these are all weekly pages, and so I like them to coordinate well. And that's me set up for this week. I will see you next time.